So Vincent Kompany has got Bayern Munich not just firing, but firing on all cylinders. Tremendous win in the French capital last week, unbeaten in the league, which you kind of expect. Look, we kind of expect Bayern to be this strong, but to be this aggressive, this convincing. Harry Kane in the absolute form of his life. So many things to look at in today's video. We've got two tactics, as you can see. We're going to do 45 minutes with kind of my Bayern München general side. And then we've got a little cheeky one here, the second one, the Bayern strikerless. Just because of the positions that Kane and Gnabry are taking up at times, they're often dropping really deep, allowing space in the line for in particular Diaz, but sometimes Elise. So that's what we're going to cover. All the tactics will be available for the Patreons as a direct download. Supports me as a creator, which is massively appreciated, so thank you. Part-time job and all that now, so I appreciate your support on the Patreon. Links down in the description. We will go through team and player instructions. It's no real player instructions, it's all team instructions that we're going to go through today. We'll cover that right at the end of the video. Let's get into it. What has Vincent Kompany been doing in Bavaria? So generally it's been a 4-2-3-1 pretty much all the way through the season so far, with definite personnel tweaks changing how the team plays. So fullbacks have changed with Bowie coming in at right back, Lima moving across to the side. A few times it's been Kim Min-jae, but they kind of, him and Kim Min-jae and Jonathan Tah generally do the same. And the main attacking four has generally been Gnabry, Diaz, Kane and Elise. Absolutely electric combinations between those four. Goretzka's played most of the games, but in the win against PSG, it was actually Pavlovic that went in there. So just a couple of things very quickly. We know Harry Kane, and we'll show you some heat maps in a minute, which kind of shows the extent. He's been dropping in a lot. So Kimmich has been splitting it, coming in as a halfback. Lima's then been allowed to really get high. Stanisic is very much working his half spaces. We know Diaz likes to hold the line and then come in. And people like Harry Kane, as the ball progresses, Goretzka kind of moves up. And they sometimes have this line of five in the left with the fullbacks. The two strikers are striker and 10 in Kane and Gnabry. Kane in particular dropping really deep and playing. And what that does is it allows these big holes in here. And the centre-backs in particular don't know whether to come in and leave the gap then for Diaz to go in. Or most of the time, they have actually just dropped off. And what that has done is allowed Bayern to build and get higher up the pitch. We know that they're going to lock it off in the final third and are so good at, getting into areas. We then see Kimmich getting in. He had a tremendous run against PSG where he got into the area, just put his shot wide. But Kane, Gnabry drop in and give these two centre-halves something to think about. We know Kane's spraying of balls in particular this season. He's been basically playing as a DLP. And we look at the heat maps himself, in particular Harry Kane. Right in this left, where my mouse is now, right in this left sort of like CDM role, he's having a lot of touches in around this left-hand side. So obviously when we're in possession, when Bayern are in possession, he likes to come more to the left-hand side. Red patches, most kind of touches of the ball, most areas of where he's been working, in and around that left half space, dropping off and then getting in the box in the final area. We can see Konrad Lima, the right back, very much inverting when he's been playing on the left and a little bit more width. They play in so many different variations. Elise, as you can see, hugs the touchline but comes in. So sometimes it can be Lima going around the outside, Elise coming in. Sometimes it can be Sasha Bowie going around the outside, Lima going and then Elise going in. It can be Lima going on the inside and then Elise keeping his width. Upamecano, very dominant. Lots of red in the attacking half, which is super positive from him. We know they're going to be playing at a high line, dominating the ball, but here he is in the PSG game. This led to the opening goal in the first few minutes. Tracking, I'm not entirely sure who it was, but he's tracked him all the way in there, as you can see. Super aggressive. Their press has been absolutely on point so far this season. Jonathan Tah at the same time, very much, can you see just above where he is, where his head is in that shot here? Loads of touches. And that means really that, for me, they're building quite wide. And when you look at Joshua Kimmich here, dropping in a little bit, not as many touches, but definitely dropping in at times, a little bit of a register, a little bit of a halfback, and then moving in and definitely controlling and protecting in front of the back four, generally when the ball is in the attacking third. Goretzka, the less of the heat on the maps basically means that they've either played less games, which in the case of Stanic, he's kind of played only 5 games, but very clear where he likes to get on the ball. And then Goretzka, it kind of works on touches. You know, Harry Kane has played a lot of minutes in the Bundesliga. I think he's only missed one game, not as many touches. I think he's averaging about 41 touches a game. Upamecano's, I think, was 81. So double the amount of touches. That's why we're getting these kind of colours. Obviously, we expect Upamecano, Jonathan Tah have a lot of touches on the ball, especially when teams are dropping off and Bayern are trying to build. Goretzka, a little bit higher. They've done it at times where the two wing backs have gone super high and they've built out, and Goretzka's coming as a left back, and Joshua Kimmich is coming as a right back. I tried that with a double half back. I couldn't get that to work. They got picked up some really odd positions. It was like a 3-1, and then the rest of the players, or sometimes like just a 2-2. Couldn't get the flat back 4, but definitely loads of rotations that Bayern Munich are trying. They're not doing the same patterns over and over. Different tweaks from game to game. I think just to keep teams guessing. Player personnel changes as well. Elise, we spoke about keeping his width, but we know that he loves to drive in. Definitely more of a ball at his feet, whereas Diaz stays extremely wide. I think we're looking maybe at a wide forward for Diaz. Gnabry, I think, has been superb. Playing a little bit as a foil. He's only averaging about 38 touches a game, but what he does is he runs, dropping off short. He likes to drop in at times to perform like a higher double pivot with Harry Kane. When Harry Kane drops in, he'll sometimes go long. He likes to work generally. I think the touches on this left-hand side here are generally because he's wanted to play. He's played out on that left-hand side. As you can see, more touches towards the right-hand side. That would probably give you a good indication that when Kane drops in the left, Gnabry's kind of working them right half spaces. And then, as we said, Harry Kane dropping really deep, working the half spaces. You would think that would be a central midfielder who takes penalties, wouldn't you? Who's working like on the left side of maybe a team playing maybe a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, and he's playing one of the left CDMs. We're going to try something different with Harry Kane next week. I'm really intrigued. You guys on the channel voted which role you would like me to cover first. We looked at the free role. I've actually done a little simulation as Harry Kane playing as an advanced playmaker as well. I'll show you that towards the end of the video. But next week, we're definitely going to cover a free role at Bayern Munich, playing in behind maybe a poacher who's giving him lots of room to work in. And yeah, stay tuned for that. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel. Right, that is the heat map. I hope you've enjoyed that little bit there. I've put that together, something that I think we're going to do on a regular basis. It gives you a really clear indication for me in a simplistic kind of way of showing you guys where players are affecting games on the football pitch. All right, so in the games, we're going to be looking at this. We're going to do half the game. First half, playing kind of the bog standard. Now, what I've done here is I've tried to incorporate a couple of the key principles that they've put in terms of the in possession. So Lima, because sometimes he can get a little bit high, he's probably better on the ball. At Leipzig, he was generally a kind of a central midfielder, so we know how comfortable he is at going forward. Stanisic is kind of a really solid back three, kind of right, left-sided centre half. Played in the back three at Leverkusen, very much quite technically very good, but not so much a driving force. So we've just got him as an inverted wing back. He will no doubt go into that space. We've got Goretzka as that box to box, who's going to go a little bit higher. Kimmich to drop into the back three at times, or hopefully we'll see that in the first half. And then on the wings, we've got Elise, but we have got player instructions on him, which we'll cover in more detail at the end. Gnabry, shadow striker, and Diaz on that left-hand side. We've gone wide forward with Kane bearing off to that left, DLF, and we'll really see how much he follows the ball and drops deep in possession. Out of possession, we've gone with this. We've gone with this 4-2-4. We've got Upamecano as a what do they call it? Stopping centre-back. We're going to get him going in. We're going to have Goretzka pressing and Kimmich being a little bit more screening. We're going to try this because they'd like to try to shape up in a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-4. We're going to have two trackers because Harry Kane just gets in to ridiculous positions all the time. He picks up some tremendous rest attack positions where when the team is defending, he's right in here and he balls out. He comes and helps out. So good at winning free kicks. For me, if he could stay in this form for the World Cup, England can build a team very much like this. Rashford on the left, Elise bin Saka, Gnabry, Bellingham as that dynamic forward runs. You've got a Declan Rice here in Goretzka. You've got maybe an Anderson who can definitely, not a Kimmich quality, but definitely in terms of getting on the ball, comfortable in possession. Playmaking wing back, perfect in Reece James. Inverted wing back in maybe Miles Lewis-Skelly. Your centre halves are not as good, but Gueye, John Stones could definitely go in and press and be super aggressive. Yeah, it's all lined up for Harry Kane to be absolutely on point. Just fingers crossed he stays fit during the season. So that's the first tactic. The second half, and then with that, with the two trackers, so Kane and Gnabry are going to drop really deep. I'm allowing Elise to be a little bit wider and a little bit higher, so he plays a little bit further up the pitch. We're going to see how it goes. If I'm not happy, we'll make some tweaks, and then the files that are available for the patrons will be kind of the completed tactic. And then the second half, we're going to go with, as I said, this AP shadow striker. Everything else is pretty much the same. Just the only changes that we've got is that Harry Kane role. Out of possession as well. We've got them both as number 10 still, but tracking back. So we'll see how well that does. I think the defensive work as well for Bayern at the moment is absolutely on point. Super aggressive, but Kane, Gnabry dropping really deep. Having players like Diaz and Elise saying a little bit higher at times so they can hit teams on the break. Right, King Min-jae is the left centre half, but we'll go with Jonathan Tah. If he's fit, he is. And that's generally what the team has been lining up with. I think it's hard. It's not a good opponent, which, we're not bothered about the result. It's all about, can we see what we want to see in the game? A home game against Heidenheim, you'd like to hopefully see a few nice little snippets of what we're trying to put together. Right, Heidenheim are playing with a deep 3-5-2. Not sure on this league table, by the way. Is that what they do for Bundesliga TV? Right, we're going to go comprehensive for the first half. We're going to keep our eye on Harry Kane and just see what kind of movement we get. As I said, this is him playing as a DLF, so we expect him to probably play a little. It's awkward because he scores goals. We've nearly scored there in the opening highlight. Gnabry making that late run into the box. He drops superbly deep, but then he's always getting on the end of things, especially at the edge of the box. He's like a deep-lying playmaker / poacher. It's amazing the positions that he gets up and manages to do both superbly well. Linking play and then getting in the box and scoring an absolute shit ton of goals. Right, let's see how we build. So we've got Kimmich has dropped into the right. It is what it happens with the in possession, because we've got him on that right side for the double pivot. He will naturally go as a right centre back. What we could do is drop it in the middle and split because he'd normally split the two centre halves, but we'll leave it as it is. Lyman moving forward. So now look, we've got Kane very much in a high. As soon as the ball is really put into that final third, he's then playing as more of a striker. Still will want to link play when we can, but definitely goes into those higher positions. Goretzka. Luis Diaz. So we've got him, I think, cutting in on his right foot, player instructions, which you'd expect. We know that he likes to come in on that right foot. Superb signing from Bayern Munich. Once again, another player that is getting the best out of Harry Kane. The Gnabry role's been, while Musiala's been injured, his more energy to get in behind and not be a central figure. We know when Musiala wants to play, he wants to dominate the ball. He's a playmaker. Will have touches, and it kind of takes away as well from what Harry Kane, maybe it kind of gets Harry Kane to stay higher at times, which we don't want. And I think that's what England need to do in the World Cup. Allow Kane to drop in, do what he does best, get Bellingham then going beyond Saka, and in particular probably Marcus Rashford on that left-hand side. So this is sometimes what we get from the inside forward, a little bit narrow. If we just look at Elise's position now, with Lima been a wing, playing as this playmaking wing back, he'll come narrow. And for me, really, I think Elise would be a little bit wider. I'm pretty sure we've got on the instructions for Elise, stay wide. He does pick it up actually in a wide position. Not a bad ball actually, into the Gnabry, and it's saved. But just an instance there of, when you really watch these games in comprehensive and extended highlights, just a couple of things that you might think, yeah, Elise he does like to invert and come in, but is his starting position correct? The winger role in FM26 has completely changed. The winger is like, when you look at central midfielders, that Harry Kane should have scored. Central midfield role, when it just says centre midfield, that's what the wide player is now in that wide area of the winger. It's kind of open for you to change as many player instructions as you want. So we may look at that, especially in the second half. We may just have a little change. We'll keep our eye on it. So now he's in quite a wide position, look. But he comes in really narrow. See, for me now, he's come in narrow, I think, a little bit too early. So what we're going to do is, we've got inside forward. Let's go winger, so we really get the width with it. We've still got cut inside and dribble with the ball. So hopefully we'll get ball into his feet, and he'll just keep... Look, he's now playing as a centre forward. Like, he's coming to a lovely area there. But we want him to kind of have the ball in wide areas, then driving. Ball to feet. Whereas we know Diaz likes to kind of gallop into the space. So that's better. That's so much better now. Look at that starting position out there. Just opens out that pitch. You know, we're expecting, you know, they're playing with a very defensive back five. So we need to stretch that out as much as possible. Kimmich dropping in as that third defender. Upamecano, here he is. Allowed to move. Lima. At least he's still coming a little bit narrow, but he's combining. Good. This is lovely. Wasted shot, but that was nice. We have got, it's asking to the TV structure, so we are going to do it because a couple of times we've just popped the ball round and we've had a couple of shots from distance. We've absolutely dominated the game. We're just maybe pushing it and risking it a little bit too much, so we'll go work into the box and just see if we can get that extra couple of passes in. As you can see, 11 shots to 1, an XG of over 1. But hopefully we could just build a little bit more patiently and get those extra couple of little passes in. So you can see Kane now. This is something that we might look to change as well. Because Goretzka, I think I've actually got it on the other tactic that we'll use in the second half. I think because Goretzka's that box-to-box midfielder, he's moving up quite high and he's moving into an area where you'd hope to see Harry Kane, and it's kind of meaning that Harry Kane stays a little bit higher. So something we'll definitely monitor in more of the second half. We know Goretzka kind of likes to get a little bit further forward. He's not amazing in build-up. So something will definitely, as Lima has a shot from the edge of the area, something that we'll definitely look in that second half. I'm pretty sure that I've got him as a DM, so we should sit a little bit deeper. So let's get now be playing a little bit deeper, getting on the ball in those central areas, trying to suck out a defender. We're getting fouls, lots of fouls. It's getting a bit niggly at the moment. Gone deep, Upamecano cleared. Can we get a second phase? Coming up to half time, we've not managed to break Heidenheim down. Another free kick. They're just absolutely kicking us to death. Kicking us to death. Lisa, Diaz. Shot from distance again. Again, maybe just be a little bit wide in that second phase, really, you would expect. You know, we're absolutely dominating the game. Which you'd expect with Bayern München. Stanic. Oh, we're getting a pen. That is a pen all day long. Nice little bit of play, actually, from Stanic. I did say he was quite good, technically, but not so much as a tricky inverted winger. That's a penalty all day long, ref. So just before half-time, we're going into the 45th minute as Harry Kane puts the ball down. Finally, the refs decided to get a card out because all they've done is kick lumps out of us in this first half. Harry Kane from the penalty spot. By the way, I will show you the simulation that we did with the second half tactic. Absolutely bags it, as you'd expect. We won the Bundesliga, which is pretty good because the simulations can be quite dodgy. I'd played up until like the third game of the season and just simulated. Made sure Harry Kane started and Gnabry started in the 2-10 positions and allowed everything else just to play through. Lovely pen. So we'll show you that at the end as well as the team and player instructions just on a couple of players. So if you don't want to become a Patreon, you can then copy the tactic yourself. So 1-0, like match momentum, beautiful. They've done absolutely nothing of Heidenheim. We've dominated the game. Look, which you'd expect. So, second half, we're going to move to this one. We will go to the player instructions, though, for Elise. And we'll move him to a winger, so he keeps his width. So that's what we're rocking. So we've got box to box. I'm going to change that now to a defensive midfielder. And just see if he just holds his position. We have got, that's locked in for the defensive midfielder, makes few runs. So hopefully that will give more space in here for Kane to drop in. I've gone for Kane to take more risks, which you get anyway locked in, but roam from position. And we've also changed hold up the ball. Yes, I've not done dribbling and stuff like that because he does dribble at times when he's got this, especially when the centre halves have not marked him, he will dribble in. But I think we'll see that naturally from the AP anyway. So that's what we're rocking with second half. We'll have to do some changes soon. I haven't bought the edit. Normally for these simulations and tactic videos, I normally buy the in-game editor so the players are fully fit for the game, so then we don't have to make too many changes. But we'll maybe get a good 60 using this. See, that's annoying. When we've done tactics at half-time, it's now waiting until there's a break in play. Super weird. It should be done at half-time. Another bug in FM. Right, let's see where we build now. Let's see. So we've got Lima in this half space. And Kane's still high. Bloody, all they're doing is kicking the shit out of us. Gimba. Now yellow card. Absolutely devastated that there's no heat maps in the game. I would love a heat map and a pass map where that ridiculous 2D is. So you can see how high he still gets Harry Kane. He's peeling off. He's in a... For me, the role would be a lot like I tried the free role to start with, and that basically played like a centre forward. So he gets into good areas. Look, he's going to be a striker. I don't think you have to worry that strikerless isn't going to work in FM because they get into such high positions, you know, especially the AP. We can't obviously not put on forward runs and change that because we need him to make forward runs and end up being a striker. I think if we took that off and had him as less forward runs, we wouldn't get him going into the penalty area. It's a tricky one to cover with Harry Kane. It is a little bit unique, the kind of role that he's doing as a centre forward. Imagine Haaland dropping in as a bit of a half-back, quarterback kind of player. Right, Elise's got a little bit of freedom on this right-hand side if Diaz can find him. Stanic in a really good position. Unlucky. Ball's going to come back. There, we're starting to build with our three. Look, Kimmich moving into that right back slot. So Harry Kane is there. See, for me now, he would be here, I think. He's giving... Let's have a little bit of a change because he's still just a little bit too high for me. And without moving him like... Could probably do it. Oh, dear. I think moving him down into the central midfield is maybe a little bit unrealistic. Make fewer forward runs, maybe. See if that makes a difference. Because I just find him, you know, really he wants to be going in that little area there. We'll see how it develops. Look, he's right on the, you know, he's looking now. Like, it's weird because he's very much acting as like a striker there. And we aren't playing him as a striker. I know he's got no one in front of him, but he's an AP. That's offside. It's a great finish. Like, I like it. He links the play, but he's, for me in this scenario, interested to know what you think. He's playing as, he looks to me like he's playing as a DLF. Just delayed his pass a little bit too late there, Kane. Great finish from Gnabry. Right, the change have been made. So I just wonder how much he will now change without the forward runs. We've got him on tracking, so he's naturally going to drop back in. Not yet, out of his area. Stanzic. Oh, that's better. That's better. Don't know if that was just a bit of a fluke. Like, we want him to be high now. In the final third, yeah, you're pretty much a striker, bud. Kane. Stanzic. This is nice. Okay, just turn it, bud. Turn and hit. Stanzic. Over the bar. Good football, though. So that was encouraging. Right, we've got a few tired legs, so we're just going to do a couple of changes. I don't know what we've got, because obviously Musiala is still injured. What have we got attacking-wise? Ooh. We've got Leonard Carl, who's most tired. Elise and Gnabry are both struggling. We'll go Nicholas Jackson on that right-hand side. And we'll go with Leonard Carl, who's been doing a little bit of a job in there. Scored a couple of goals recently, hasn't he? The youngster. He can play the Gnabry role. I think he played against Leverkusen. He scored, didn't he, against Leverkusen, and then used Nicholas Jackson. Both Gnabry and Harry Kane were out for that game. Still won 3-0. Good width from Jackson. So Kane's still a little bit high for me again. Maybe not. I can take that. He's dropping in. Right. Can he show? No. To be fair, Jonathan Tah kind of took up the space there. He drove into it, didn't he? Which they don't do. They allow the ball at times to keep that distance, so then allows Kane to drop in rather than closing that distance down. So now he's in a really good position. We're just holding on for it a little bit too long there, the two centre-halves that we've had in those last two clips. He's still looking in behind all the time, which is weird because his general traits, you know, his player traits are always very much come towards the ball, dropping deep. So he combines, as you see from that last little bit there, he does combine, but it's just not as, it's maybe just a little bit too much to try and get that role. If anything, he probably plays as like a central midfielder who, you know, tell you what, the last 15 minutes, let's drop him in there. See how we get on with that. See if we get him even deeper. We're not going to get maybe the attacking threat from him here. We'll see. So we should track in. Kane, here he is. Good. So he's moving up into that striker area now. So this is going to be something. I think the one that I'm going to put in for the Patreons will be the AP. Probably make less forward runs. I'll put that one on as well. But then it's up to you guys if you think you could drop him into that central midfield. It's been a really good one, this, just to see what, in particular, what player roles do. You'd expect the AP to be very much in that number 10 position. And even though there's not a striker, he's kind of dropping in to that DLF kind of role. This is better. This is more Harry Kane-esque. But he's still gone really high. Like, he's central midfield. Like, he's an AP. He is a central midfielder. So let's have one last little tweak. Sorry, Harry. Let's have one last little tweak. Let's go midfield playmaker, Harry. See what you could do for us there the next time it goes out. I think it's super important as well when you're dominating games like this that you make the picture super wide. Diaz and now Jackson on this right-hand side are doing this for us. Kick the ball out, lads. There we go. Right, we can change it now. So Harry Kane is now a midfield playmaker. Decent effort. Good save. God, we can't draw the game 1-1 after absolutely dominating. 2.18 on the XG as well. Right, here we go. A bit of build-up. Harry Kane. Chance to see some midfield playmaker. There we go. That's a bit better. That is Harry Kane. But now, this is where we really need to see forward runs, and probably we're not going to see it. Wasted. Still shooting from stupid distance. I found this a massive thing in FM so far. Just distance and players not going beyond. Like, as Leonard Carl was going there should have been players going in and around him and going beyond him. Kane's picking up such better positions as a midfield playmaker. Can you, while he is a midfield playmaker, so you could probably do more forward runs. Maybe. That would probably be, so he'll link the play and then get forward. Could be one. We're not going to see it. See, now he wants to be in that penalty area. He's just holding his run. Oh, what a surprise. Another foul. So, we're going to leave it there, just so you can see. I have done a little simulation, as I said a little bit ago. I'll just kind of show you. It was mainly just to see what numbers we could pull with Harry Kane. So, this is, as you can see, we got knocked out in the Champions League quarterfinals to Liverpool, the winners. Won the league by 6 points, 5 defeats. Playing this 4-2-4. We've scored some goals towards the end of the season as well, look. Harry Kane, there you go. 50 games, 25 goals, 25 assists, which I don't think he's bad, considering that he was playing as that advanced playmaker. So, yeah, it does work without being in. Look at his, tries long range passes, tries killer balls. What's he rated as? See, to be fair, he is rated as a midfield playmaker, so you could even tweak it a little bit more and really go for it. When I cover the midfield playmaker as a video, we'll do Harry Kane. We'll do Harry Kane again, as well as the free roll, just to see what we can get out of him. Because if you hadn't realised, I think he's, at the moment, he's the best player in the world. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Who is the best player in the world? But yeah, he's my... Everything that he does, I kind of show Ralphie, my little boy, he's a centre forward and, likes to overplay at times. And I kind of just say, look, Harry Kane's the best player in the world in terms of what he does and the kind of ruthlessness of what he does. And it's because he keeps it extremely simple at times. His first touch, the way he rolls players, the way he strikes the ball, very clinical. Yeah, love him. So for the two tactics, the team instructions are as follows. Shorter, let's just go all instructions in. So shorter passing, higher tempo. You could, at times we could have probably increased that. You could probably even go standard as well. That would be a nice mix because they do like to, if you're finding that, like we've done against Heidenheim, where it's been loads of the ball, loads of control, maybe just put it up to much higher and then more standard, and we'll probably break and attack a little bit quicker. Counter-attack, much wider. God, I hate it when it does that. Much wider, keep the ball in play, more expressive, play through the build, short goal kicks to centre half, balanced on everything else in there. The out of possession, high press, much higher line, trigger press much more often, and counter pressing, get stuck in, trap outside, no for shot distribution and balanced cross engagement. So we're being super aggressive without the ball. That is the same for both. Player instructions, as I said, we're now going winger for Elise. With the player instructions, stay wider, cut inside and dribble more. Diaz on the other side, stay wider, cut inside and dribble more. Make more forward runs, but that's hard-coded because he's a wide forward. Harry Kane is the anything. Yeah, so hold up the balls on as the left, but we have gone take more risks. So we know he loves to play the beautiful passes. Roam from position, passing strategy, more direct. That is all the player instructions for Tactic 1. Tactic 2, everything has been kept exactly the same. I said I'm going to move a couple of things now. So defensive midfielder for Goretzka to allow that space for Kane to drop into. We're going to call this one Kane the playmaker. So that'll be available for the patrons. I said no other team, everything else has been left pretty blank. I've not dived into the player instruction too much so far. I kind of think the roles that we have are doing enough at the moment to get what we want. The Harry Kane's an interesting one. Yeah, we're definitely going to do more videos on that and try to see what we can get out of him. Midfield playmaker seems like a good one to do. If you'd like to see that, let me know down in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. That is Bayern Munich. At the moment, they are on course to be champions of the Bundesliga, champions of Europe. I'd love Harry Kane. Sorry, Harry Kane bashing. Sorry, Harry Kane loving, but it'd be great for him to see him pick up a Champions League medal before he wins the World Cup with England in 2026. Right, that's it.